Who can tell me? Raise your hand and tell me. I got the same person answering all the questions there. Nobody else wants to play along. What's an adaptation? You're in 6th grade. You should know what an adaptation is. Come on. What's an adaptation? Something about you that helps you survive better in your environment, right? The way I like to think about adaptations is in terms of a job. So an animal, or what's the most obvious thing when you look at a bird and you see this obvious thing that it's a vulture? Did you see something obvious? What's the most obvious thing?
Feathers.
What about his feathers? I was talking to you, but what about him? Did you know it was a vulture even without a sign? Would you have known? Things we don't have, things we do. All right, so no feathers on the head. Why is that important for a vulture?
Oh.
Why is that a good adaptation? What do you
So
think?
they won't get no fur in the way when they eat them.
If you think about when they eat, how they eat, they put their head inside a carcass, pretty gross place, right? And you don't want stuff to get all in those feathers, so just don't have feathers there. That's a good adaptation. There are more reasons than one for not having feathers. One is they stay cooler by not having feathers on their head. They can lose heat through the top of their head. And some vultures actually communicate. You might not like to eat the chicken head, but most other animals do. Why isn't she going? I think largely she is being a little slow because there's a lawnmower moving behind her, and she's a little nervous about that, and says, "I'm not sure I want to come down." So we'll just stay really quiet for a second, and hopefully she'll fly down. She's getting ready to come right now. So. Have a look at her feet, by the way. We talked about a couple of different feet. Anybody notice anything about this owl's feet that's different from what we've seen so far? No? What's that? They've got feathers on them, right? We saw several feet of different kinds, but so far none with feathers. Why would you want to have feathers on your feet? Any ideas? Why would you want feathers on your feet?
I don't need feathers.
Maybe for easier gripping, but she doesn't have any feathers on the bottom of her feet, only on the tops.
Warmth.
Maybe warmth, right? If I live in the Ural Mountains, where based on her plumage, it's probably pretty snowy a lot of the time, maybe I need feathers on my toes to keep warm. Owls, unlike, can an owl look behind itself if it can't turn its head all the way around? Like it can? Can you look behind yourself?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you turn your head 270 degrees? No. So it's probably not all that closely related to looking behind themselves. Has to do with something else that a bird needs to do every day if it wants to stay healthy.
Groom itself.
Groom itself. How do birds clean themselves? With their beak. We call it preening. And what feathers do they need to preen?
The stomach.
Their wings, their back, their stomach. How about all of them?
Hey, that bird looks like you walked in.
I know, so majestic.
Looking at India. That's not me. But
So, this is one of our native owls. So, the Ural owl, again, not from around here, from Europe and Asia, but this is an owl that is found right here in South Carolina. It's probably the most common owl that we see and hear in South Carolina. I'm betting most of you have great horned owls within a mile of your house. You may not ever see them because they're very well camouflaged when you look at them, and they typically are nocturnal. So do what a rabbit's going to do.
Run, Forrest!
You ready?
You're actually gonna get killed.
All right, there's a hawk right here. Get ready. Oh, he's coming
I'm
this way.
actually recording.
Hey, run for it.
On your mark. Get set.
Hello, everyone.
Go.
We're gonna watch some.
All right, here comes our rabbit.
It's a rabbit!
Oh, the hawks are over here. Oh, she's running right towards them.
You will die! Let go! Let go! She was holding on it.
All right, let's give our rabbit a big round of applause. She did great. You see that in a lot of birds. And then what Natalie's doing right now, this is kind of a strange thing. She's asking the hawk to give away the rabbit that it just caught. Do you think that's a normal thing?
No.
No, not normal at all. But these birds have been trained that if they give away, catches the prey, or not, either one, in his feet, or tries to catch it in his feet, don't worry, he won't miss every time. Here it comes again. Catches it, and then what did he do next? He ate it. And if we think about it from the perspective as an educator, you're going to be one of the last groups to see it here because it's getting ready to move to its new home in New Hampshire. It's leaving us on Wednesday, so we're getting ready to say goodbye. This is a barn owl, which is one of our native owl species.
It's a baby. I was right.
Where'd it go?
I had a money.
Your buddy.
He comes back with no hand.
He's my G.
That's a head grab. Face hugger.
Oh, that
Oh,
smile.
seriously. It's pretty cute.
That is
It's
so
pretty
cute.
darn cute.
Everybody always has
All right, so first of all, we got lots of ahs and oohs and everything, right? Because it's so cute and everything. This bird at 8 weeks old is full grown, right? Not going to get any bigger, but you can see some remnants of the fact that it is young. It's got that downy coating all over its back. So the first big challenge that birds undergo after they hatch is getting to the point where they can maintain their own body temperature. You guys know what we call animals that maintain their own body temperature?
I'm sorry that it loves
Jada,
us.
Anna, Hadley, go ahead. Just go
Right
down.
here. You can come right to here.
He does
So that I
really
can
love
stop
us.
him if he comes running at.
But he loves us.
He just wants to get pictures. That's all. He's like, take pictures of me. Hey, here, buddy. Oh,
Guys, if you're sitting down, control yourselves.
are you seriously?
All right.
We'll be right back.